Hello everyone and welcome to this new video. This one is a very special video because in this footage I'm sharing about my personal story. And it's quite funny because from all the video I did, whether on YouTube, on Instagram, I'm always sharing about tips, about things that I know can help you, but I haven't told you yet about me. So let's get to it. I have to be honest with you. It's funny how vulnerable it is to share about my story, to share about things that I have experienced. Because all of the time I'm always trying to share the lessons from my experience to the people that I know can benefit from it, to people that I know might find this helpful, etc. But I've never shared more about what I've happened to experience and all of the things I went through. So I suppose this is the time. So unfortunately, I can't sum up my whole life into a little footage into this video, but I'm gonna start by what I judge is important and essential for me to share right now. Let's start with 4 years ago when I was in Scotland, or it was 5 years ago probably. So I actually decided to go study in a small village. It's a small town in Scotland, St. Andrews, and I really had the best time there. But it's not because I was actually partying every day, etc. I had, of course, my university years in my first year, but then I was really much at home all the time with my best friend and my dogs. And especially the last years were transformational for me, like completely life-changing. So you have to know, I have to tell you that I've always struggled with my self-esteem. I've always struggled with the idea, the image of me. I had a very low self-esteem. I had no belief in life as well. I had a hard time believing in love too. Well, just to sum up, I was a bit of a mess. Well, we all are sometimes at some point, but I was like a really deep mess. And everything around me was becoming so chaotic. I lost contact with some of my childhood friends, with people I've considered family, with a lot of things. Like I've started becoming like really much alone by myself in this village of Scotland and facing my own truth, facing myself. And this was quite an adventure. Because when you're left with so much time to reflect, with so much space and silence, oh my goodness, the silence in Scotland, that was something, you know? It really leaves you, it leaves no place for illusion and for lies. Because you're always facing yourself. And that's what I was, that's what the process I was into without realizing that I was into this process. So constantly I've started like listening to the mind, realizing things about me, coming to conclusion until I've realized that, you know, I could change me. So I started changing me. But at the same time, I have to tell you something else, which was about actually me having trouble believing in an authority. So you name it, whatever you want to name it, but in any kind of authority. Because call me stubborn or whatever, but I was quite curious and I wanted to explore things for myself, to judge them, to say, okay, this I know or I don't know. I had a hard time with the idea of a belief, if that makes sense. I needed to know things. I could not just believe in the idea of something without me knowing that there is this something. Because that, for me, it felt like this was a complete lie, you know, like I have to know it. So this was quite nice because that led me really to start seeking. So the first thing I was seeking was myself. I was like, okay, who am I, you know? I can't be all these negative things I have about myself. I must be something. So I started seeking, building me, but mainly seeking for outside, you know? What is out there? What is life? What is the purpose, the meaning of life? So I came up every time with theories, with of course, all of that I wrote it down. I was always like writing, like, yeah, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. But until one day, something quite extraordinary happened. I don't know if you've heard about near-death experiences, but I've happened to experience something quite similar, but without dying. I was just in my sofa in Scotland, and this I will really resume it, like put a very short summary of it. That could be like the topic of like another video. I just want to tell you about the essential of it. So I was sitting on my sofa, which was facing this beautiful kind of coulees, those valleys. It was a beautiful day, and I was sitting by myself. And it was a time where you have to know where I was really into changing, and I've started to realize how much my intention was powerful over the mind. How much my attention as well was much more powerful than the mind. So it was about how I was redirecting it. But this duality left me thinking, so who am I if I'm not the mind? You know, like, who am I? Like, what is me? So one day, you know, this day I was sitting, and my best friend Carla was actually playing on the piano. And I don't think she knows that she was around when this happened. But anyway, she was playing around the piano, and for some reason, I had my eyes open, not closed, I was like this, and I started focusing on the sound of the piano. Like, even if she was just playing around, it didn't have to be beautiful music. Just focusing on the experience of the sound, I was like this with the sound. And there's something coming to my own voice that tells me, focus on the heart space. Be the heart. Imagine me, like, be the heart, what? You know? What do you mean, be the heart? So I became the heart for some reason. I was like, okay, let's have fun, let's go out there and let's just try. What does that mean? Let's just be curious about it. And at one point where I really focused on what it was like to become my heart. I'm sorry if this sounds too abstract or too crazy, but it's the way it is. And at one point, I'm completely leaving the physical body. So I'm completely aware of the physical body that was sitting on the sofa and of the experiences, but something quite crazy happened because I was not the body anymore, and for some reason I realized that what I was referring to I was not I. So everything I thought was me, like everything that I was saying, oh, this I need to change, all of that was not me. And other things is that I felt love, like real love, and for the first time in my whole life I felt love. As if love was the essence, as if love was everything, love and peace, it's so powerful. And I realized that in today's languages we refer to love and to peace to kind of like mainstream ideas, which this is not what it is, you know? And again, this is a summary, I can't tell you all about it. But when I came back to the body, I can't tell you how long this lasted. It could have been 5 minutes, but the very important thing is that there was no time. Like, I realized how much time was just an illusion, how much time was just man-made. It was just a measurement. I realized that like our essence, what we are, has no beginning and has no end. It just is, you know. It has no labeling. Even right now, I feel like I'm downgrading it by putting words on it, because it's much more of a knowing, you know. It didn't come through words. And in that same time, I happened to just become that intelligence. Like, who I thought was Rita was actually not Rita. What I am, what you are, what we are is this intelligence. I call it the intelligence, you call it consciousness, or we can name it the way we want. But at the end, we're all referring to the same thing. That experience, I have to say, was completely life-changing. Because for 2 weeks, it felt like I was high. Like I was really high. I was looking at the colors, and the colors all felt differently. I looked at myself in the mirror, and I was like, it's like I've been reborn, you know? It really felt like this was the first time I came into this world and I could see and feel and know everything properly. Like everything I've lived from my 0 to 20 years old, that was nothing. This was the first time I really came to this world and I got to see it. It's really funny because those 2 weeks after, like even in my walk, my voice, everything was just magical, to be honest. And of course, at some point it started like a bit like decreasing, or maybe this became like the natural state. But I went through a whole process, and this experience like led to a lot of others as well. But this one is the most important one because it's the one that is kind of, you know, like the trigger, the first one. But the one after that were all also very transformative. But with this experience, it taught me to understand and to learn that we are creators. That the only thing that, not the only thing, but that we are creators. That what you wish, what you really desire, you can create. That what you want, you can have. And it also led me to understand how much this whole reality that we think we're living in is an illusion. It's all an illusion. It's really, it's not like a game, like it could be like a game, but I like the idea of an illusion when you're living from the mind. Because from 1 to 20, I was so identified with the mind. I thought I was the mind. I thought I was that image that I created about myself. I thought so many things. All of these things turned out to be so wrong about what I'm really and what you are as well. So like the next 2 years were really about understanding how to implement that experience into my daily life. Because I can tell you, like, it's not all magic. It also comes with a lot of chaos and with a lot of destruction, with a lot of removing all of your past beliefs, all of the conditionings, all of the things that subconsciously were ingrained that you didn't know were ingrained, and they were just coming to the surface, and I had to change those. And that was a beautiful journey. I'm still changing, I'm still learning. But it's a wonderful journey when you know you're not living from the mind. When you're living life, like with life, if that makes sense. Like when you're living, not from the eyes of the mind, when you're living, like really living. So that was what my years were about. At the same time, it was a time where we started this startup, Your Time Call, which is a learning app. The idea that we had, it was kind of a revelation, whatever. No, that was just funny, but what we wanted was really to empower students with knowledge. We're like, yeah, let's transform the way we learn, let's give the right tools of knowledge and the right content. Because obviously, you know, I was so fed up, and I've always been quite fed up with the current educational system. Like, this is failing. There are so many things missing from here. So many things that, for example, I've been trying to learn by myself, and all of you are learning by yourselves as well. And I thought we have to make something about it. So that's why we came up with Your Time. We're like, okay, let's change the way things are done. My journey as an entrepreneur with Your Time was incredible and full of learnings as well. Because I've started, of course, like all went well. We managed to get some pretty incredible traction, to attract some incredible shareholders, stakeholders, like really for like a 23 years old or 22 at the time. I've accomplished some pretty good milestones, and today I'm proud of it. At the time I didn't realize what I was doing, but today I'm like, wow, like you did it, girl. But the thing is that the more I was into it, the less I was close to the initial mission, which is to empower people with knowledge. The more I was into it, the less I was really like guiding people to what I wanted to tell them, sharing what I needed to share. And obviously, like this time always leads to chaos when there is a conflicting beliefs, when there is something that is not working and you're not taking decision by yourself, chaos starts happening outside. And in my body as well, I started getting sick, losing weight, feeling so anxious all the time and pressured by the work, by my responsibility, by many things. And until things changed, for some reason, I'm gonna sum up as well. And with my co-founder, we're like, yeah, I think it's time that we launch a new product. And at the same time, it's very funny because for like 1 year, I've been working on this ideal school, on the idea of a school that is teaching what we really need to be taught. Like things about the mind, how to reprogram our mind, but also how to discover like our true nature, how to become what we really are at the source, at the core, without the struggle of the illusion. Just like living life without the eyes of the mind, but using the mind. So that's what I did. And when we had the idea with my best friend, we're like, yeah, we're ready, we have everything. We have everything to start this school. Especially that my whole journey, and she had quite of an incredible journey as well. My whole journey, I was documenting the whole time everything. I was experiencing like everything that I was experiencing. I was noting it down. I was like, maybe this can help someday. And now I know that this can help. So that leads me to today. And today we've been working on a platform, an educational platform. It's basically a place where we're teaching all of the things that really matter for your transformation, for your growth, for like ultimately for your bliss and for you being in that state of love and happiness and feeling like you can do anything, and doing them. For the past month, I've been really devoting and dedicating all of my time to collect even more information, to talk with experts, neuroscientists, quantum physicists, like coach, etc., to understand the best way to put a program into place, to put like a learning journey into place that I can offer to the world. And the idea, the main idea of it and why I think this is incredible is because, when I happen to experience those transformational experiences, I felt a bit lost as well. I was like, okay, where do I start now? What should I do with all of this? Where can I go with all of this? Because the possibilities are infinite. Everything becomes infinite, and sometimes you're just like, and I was just like lost again. You're like, I happily lost, I was happy, but I was like, okay, what can I do with all of this, and what should I be doing with all of this? So that's why I'm putting this program together. I like to consider it as the foundation, like the foundation for one's journey. The foundation that brings some really exciting topics for you to unlock something, for you to shift the perception. and for you to really start enjoying life and yourself as a human being. Alright, so I don't know how long this video has been on for. I think it's probably time for me to just end it. Of course, I have a lot more to share about my story, and I want to share more, but again, everything in its own timing. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any question, if you want to debate something, or if you just want to reach out, please do. And again, if you liked it, let me know. And I'll see you for another video at some point. Take care.